with authority. Aloha!
Welcome to the most muscles in podcast in Bay Area sports. This is ABC7 Sports.
With authority.
Today, big guest. Literally.
Yes. He might be our biggest guest.
Kittle
no.
was pretty big.
Well, Kevon Looney, bigger.
Also taller, yes.
Yeah, actually,
much taller.
Well, I don't know. Are we going height, weight? What are we going by?
Just general girth, mass.
Density.
Density.
Anger level. What? By the way,
have it.
we should start. I have to start with an apology because I missed the big interview. I was in Las Vegas for a number of family functions and also winning all the monies.
We got to fund this project somehow,
Yeah,
so we send you there every now and then.
Exactly.
And then you come back.
How do you think we got a big screen, huh? I mean, it doesn't grow on trees. Actually, the deal's on big screens now. 4K, like 75 inches under $1,000. You should all rush out to buy. You want to see us in the best means possible, right?
Yeah.
Maybe not. I don't have makeup on.
If we had a sponsor, we could plug the place to get the TV. So insert.
Hi, Best Buy.
Insert sponsor.
How you doing, Best Buy? Costco?
I'm gonna bleep out Best Buy until they pay us.
Well, I don't. How are they even going to know that they were bleeped? But first, you have to put it out there, then bleep them. Anyway, we're way off track. Anyway, the guest is Cal linebacker Evan Weaver, and I wanted to be there. My flight got delayed. Blah blah blah.
He actually changed his flight
Yes.
in an effort
I was
to get
trying-
there to do this interview with Evan Weaver.
I wanted to be tackled by the leading tackler in the Pac-12 and the country that some are not sold on, but that you're going to get into that in the interview.
Yeah, and I actually think it was really cool to catch up with Evan. He's a senior. His whole future's ahead of him. Made me feel old even talking to him, which is pretty funny because I'm usually always the young guy. But, just to talk to him as he's about to finish his last final, as he's about to go back home, visit his family in Washington, I know that he's going to go. Hopefully he has a chance to decompress a little. But, right after this, we're talking bowl game. We're talking Senior Bowl. We're talking Combine. We're talking hopefully big NFL career. This might be the last chance to catch up with an Evan Weaver in a moment of calmness and clarity before it's go time for him. So this was a pretty cool conversation, and Chris Alvarez stepped in to help out because you were stuck in delays and traffic and weather.
Cha-ching! 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 Loser. Put in another $20. Put in another $20.
Yeah, but at least we have Weaver, who is a winner.
Yes. Let's listen to Evan Weaver right now.
You lead everybody in tackling in college football. And I know that you're 18 away from breaking the all-time record. Are you just going to be like crazy out there in the bowl game? How do you plan on handling that?
It's going to be pretty intense. It's something that I love to do. I really would. But winning the game I think matters more for not just me but my teammates and the Cal community. Because we got to one last year and couldn't quite finish it off. So if we can finish it off on a good note, that'd be something.
If you could tackle anybody in the world right now, who would it be?
Man, if I could tackle anybody in the world.
Other than Kyle.
Conor McGregor.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. I don't even know why. I don't know.
I think the noise that would come out of him
would
probably be worth it.
I'd probably get knocked out trying it, but if I could get to him, I think I got a good shot.
I think you could get to him.
Oh, for sure. I don't see that. Larry actually didn't come because he thought you were going to tackle him. You saw that video where you literally tackled everybody on camp. Who came up with that idea, and did anyone get hurt in the filming of that video?
No one got hurt.
Okay.
But it was just some guy in our video department, Nick Mitchell. He's just been coming up with great ideas like that, and obviously it was kind of a little play off the Sports Center commercial. It was actually funny because Zebo was one of the dudes who I tackled who works in the building, and he kept wanting to redo it. And he's like, "You didn't hit me hard enough. I'm like, "Yeah, I'm not trying to hit you hard." And then so our final take was like take 9 or 10. He was like, "All right, just go full speed. I just want to get tackled." And I'm like, "All right." And then I went full speed and smacked him, and we flew off. We had a little pad on the bottom. Flew off the pad, and it was like, and he's like, "Yeah, that's what I wanted." I'm like, "Okay, it's up to you, man."
Man, did that moment in the video where you see the guy in red, was that real or staged?
That was actually real. Yeah. That was just random. I actually. Yeah, didn't even know them, so it was kind of perfect.
Wow, that's amazing.
We were walking in there to do like that good morning one that I did with some other people, and so I just thought it'd be funny, so we just kind of rolled with it.
So obviously, I would guess the big game win was the biggest win of the year.
Yeah.
Safe to say. I had a chance to talk to you, but I saw your interview on Pac-12, and someone interrupted your interview.
Yeah.
It was really cool moment. Describe to us what that moment was like when your dad came and gave you a hug.
Just I was looking for him all game after the game for like 10 minutes and couldn't find him because everybody was swarming the field, and just I kept looking for him, and then the TV people pulled me aside and they're like, "Hey, can we do an interview real quick?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And then my dad just comes out of nowhere, and that was awesome. Just being able to share a moment like that with him, and I teared up a little bit, but after a game like that, and just having my parents there for every game and knowing that that's my last big game it's a pretty special moment.
Yeah, I know you talked to him right after, and it was probably hard in the moment to process everything going on, but at this time, are you able to now look back at, taking back the axe for the first time in 9 games? I mean, how much did that mean to you?
Yeah, I mean, it's unbelievable, an unbelievable experience, and just to you walk around Berkeley now and everybody's excited. People are still tweeting about it. We have the axe, all this stuff, and you don't really understand what it's all about until you actually do it. And so being able to do it and come back and see everybody's faces, and the whole Cal community is all rallied behind us, and I hate to say this, but I think we could go 1-11. But if that was our one win, it would have been successful. Yeah. So it was really good to see.
But I mean, you started the season so strong, and I don't want to take away from anybody else's performances, but how big of a difference does Chase make?
Chase is a huge part to our offense. He's such a good leader. He gets those guys rallied behind him, and everybody I think really believes in him and believes in what he can do for our offense. And just to see him back in, and obviously Stanford game was kind of a game day call for him to see if he even play, and he did a great job. Man, I mean that last drive too really saved us, and just to watch him run into the end zone was that's honestly a moment I'll remember for the rest of my life. And then look over at the fans and everybody's going crazy. I mean, I've never seen them cheer like that here. So to see it in an opposing stadium was insane.
Those rivalry games are what you came to Cal for. When you were going through the recruiting process, why are you a Cal Golden Bear? How did that all play out, and how'd you have blue and gold?
Man, I often think about this a lot. I don't really know how it all ended up, to be honest, because I just came on 2 unofficial visits here before I actually committed, and I came on an official, never went to a football game here.
Wow.
I didn't really know what anything was like, but I fell in love with the campus, fell in love with the weirdness and just how different it was from Spokane, Washington. And Spokane's kind of like the same thing over and over, day in and day out, and here you'll walk down the street and something crazy will happen. So it's a good crazy though, but it's just completely different.
So growing up as a kid though, I mean, was Cal on your radar? Or I mean, you said from Washington, so UW, Washington State, that wasn't. I mean, what kind of college football were you watching, or did you watch football as a kid?
Yeah, so I grew up a Husky fan. My parents had season tickets since they left Washington, and so I'd go to every Husky game, drive over, make the 4.5-hour trip to every game day, go there, go watch the games. Grew up a Husky fan, and I just wanted to do something different. Wanted to get out of Washington, and just be able to experience something different and go somewhere where no one from my high school was going to go, and meet new people, and just ended up working out and ended up loving it.
Yeah, I did the same thing. I was like, I'm getting the heck out of the Bay Area.
Yeah.
Then I ended up coming back. But at least for college, I got out for a while.
Yeah,
you kind of have to. Do you ever look around? I mean, this view behind us, just this campus, the history, everything here. We talked about it coming in, but do you ever find yourself taking it for granted? Because it is spectacular here.
Oh yeah. I mean, just the weather too. As you can assume, Spokane, I think it's snowing, so I'm actually going there tonight. I think it's snowing today, so that'll be interesting. Just wake up every morning and be able to come work out here in great facilities at a great campus and a great football team, and just you look around and stuff like that, and you can't really get anywhere else. And on a beautiful day here, blue skies, it's awesome because you can see the whole Bay Area, and it's just something that you can't really get.
Can you describe to a guy that never played college football? I played baseball and basketball, so we all have some athletic experience. But the vibe when you put on the helmet, you walk into a crowd, it's packed.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a certain vibe that you're going to go from high school. Your next goal is the NFL, but there's a pageantry about college football, especially that big game.
Yeah.
What goes through your mind? Do you get goosebumps? I'm talking about, and I get goosebumps.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, what is that like for you when you put on the uniform and you're out there on the field?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of mess around a little bit in the locker room,
Yeah.
you know. But walking up those stairs, and the moment you hit the tunnel, I put my helmet on, get goosebumps, and I look around and I'm like, yeah, we're about to do this. You know? It's about to go down. So it's just something that you can't really get anywhere else, and just being able to like soak everything in, and you know, the yelling, the screaming, the hate, all of it. You know, it's just part of the game, and part of like stuff that just happens, and trash talking and all that is just great competitive people, and just being able to go against really good players every single week is just something I've always dreamed of, and being able to do it at the level I'm doing now is just, you know, it's something that happened.
Do you have any rituals? I know we had George Kittle on this same show, and he was telling us, like, he does the scream, he smacks his head into a wall, like he has a switch, he has a Joker like he has all these things he goes through to prepare for a game mentally. Do you have anything like that, like a mental switch or list you have to go down?
You know, it's not really a mental list. It's more just like stuff that happens. It's kind of random, because something weird will always happen to me on game day. I don't know why. When I get here, something weird always happens. Like either I lose something, or I try to walk up. I think it was UC Davis without a left cleat on.
Okay.
So that was kind of interesting. And I think it's just like that weirdness that happens to me, just like that shouldn't happen, just kind of helps me kind of lock in a little bit.
What is the weirdest thing that's happened to you?
Oh man, I think either trying to go up there without a helmet, or yeah, just totally forgot my helmet, or maybe the cleat, because I had one cleat on, and you know, it's
elevated in a circle.
It's elevated, so
Were you
you're
barefoot
like,
on the other
I had
a shoe?
well,
Just
I had
non-spikes,
Okay.
right?
no, I had a sock on it. That was
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, it didn't make any sense. Yeah, it's just whatever, but. Yeah. Oh, and then you know, got to listen to a little bit of Adele and some Mumford & Sons.
Okay. Nice. Yeah, that was going to be one of the questions I was going to
playlist is
ask.
huge.
Some John Legend.
Does it switch based on year to year, or do you have a certain amount of songs, like you hit this song and this is like the last one before I go to the field, or is it?
Yeah. So I'll listen to like all those weird slow ones, and it'll just make me anxious, super anxious, and just
like what slow song? Name
like
one.
oh man, I mean, let's go. Pretty much any Adele song, any Lana Del Rey song. Like it's just
so funny.
It's just weird stuff
Yeah,
like that. And then my last song I'll listen to before I take my helmet off is Highway to Hell.
Okay.
AC/DC.
So it's like a progression.
Yeah, but it's not even a progression. It just goes straight from like All of Me by John Legend straight into AC/DC.
Yeah.
And you're like, all right, let's lock in a little bit.
That's awesome.
I remember I covered the A's for a long time, and Bartolo Colon, before every start, he listened to like Set Fire to the Rain, I think is what it's called. That's an Adele song, right?
Yep.
Is that on your playlist?
That one is not.
Oh,
no.
you see, you got to add that, because it worked for him. He's like 50 pitching still.
Yeah.
So.
Wow.
No, that was his jam, and that always cracked me up. I couldn't believe it.
He's
so
in great shape too. So.
No, he's not. But it works.
Hey, it works.
Apparently
Different
Adele is how
sports,
you
man.
get fired up. That's amazing.
Have you wrapped your head around your last college game? Is that a thought
Man.
yet, or not?
I mean,
yet?
I've been thinking about it. Just being able to, it's kind of like a you work into it, and
Okay.
you know, I'm taking it day by day, trying to enjoy everything. You know, the practices, the workouts, stuff that I just won't get in the NFL or you know, in my future career or something like that. So it's just just taking it day by day and just trying to figure it all out by the time I get there.
A couple hundred more Adele songs before you hit the field for your last college game. As you get ready for the pros, there's so much that goes into it. What are you most excited about in the process? And have you reached out to any of your former teammates to kind of ask about what this is actually all like? Because I mean, there's nothing like doing it until you do. But what kind of background have you tried to gather?
I've talked to a few guys in the league, or a few guys who have done it, and a few guys who've been in the league, and just trying to figure out like the best way how to carry yourself like a pro. You know, how to like do your daily stuff whenever, you know, waking up, eating, and, you know, not skipping meals, doing all that type of stuff, and making sure you're ready to work every day. So I've gathered some pretty good information from some really good guys. So just kind of taking that in as much as I can and soaking it up.
Yeah, we mentioned it before the interview, but we saw Patrick Laird score his first career touchdown. He was your teammate, obviously, and he still did the book celebration. I mean, what is it like kind of seeing somebody that was close to you really realize their dream and think like, okay, I can do this too?
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome because I remember when I first got here, Patrick was not one of those guys that you'd think would ever have that shot, and to be able to go from a walk-on to a Scully guy to a 1,000-yard rusher and now scoring for the Miami Dolphins is just unbelievable, and not just scoring in a preseason game, but in an actual like NFL meaningful game. So it's huge for him. Just see his dreams, come into reality.
Mm-hmm. And then the fantasy aspect. You said that I'd mentioned that some people are adding him to their fantasy. He's like transaction trends. He's way up there, and you said he's actually on your team, right?
I did cut someone to get him.
Okay.
Did you cut a Cal player?
No, I cut a.
It wasn't Aaron
Ronald
Rodgers,
Jones,
right?
I think.
Okay, Tampa Bay. Yeah.
No, I would not be cutting Aaron Rodgers. I'm sorry, Pat. I'm sorry, Pat, but I'm not cutting Aaron Rodgers for you. But I'm not starting him though because I still got Dalvin Cook. So
Dalvin got hurt though.
He got banged up a little bit.
He's on my team.
I think he's gonna play though.
Yeah, I hope so.
So the combine, it doesn't take much. You're like a ball hawk. I mean, a lot of this combine is this stuff they call it kind of like the underwear Olympics. But there's something to be said about what you put on film. How much do you think the combine and workouts and all the things that you're going to do in Indianapolis really play into what goes on the field? Like, how big is that? Is it more about the questions, the interviews you're going to get in those rooms? Like, what do you think you've been told about the combine process and what that is before draft day?
I've heard it's mainly about like the interviews and just and the combine is mainly just checking boxes, making sure that you can do, you can run a certain speed, you can, bench how many ever reps, you can jump how high. And just being able to check boxes, and then the interviews is really where they start to break you down and find out who you really are, and are you mentally up for this type of stuff, and are you smart, all this stuff, but not too smart, but just smart enough, and just be able to handle the defense. Because I've always thought, because I've always been the type of person that people just don't see as athletic or anything, or and I don't know, I obviously play this game at a very high level, so there's super athletes who can't play the sport, and then there's guys who can play football. And I'm a guy who can play football. I'm still an athlete. I can still run fast. Like everybody's thinking I'm gonna run like a 4.8. I could probably run 4.8 sideways, but there you go. It'll be pretty awesome to be able to push all those naysayers out a little bit. So, and just kind of hush them.
That's exciting.
Yeah, I mean, you lead all of college football this year in tackles. We talked about this a little earlier. You're going to break the Pac-12 record, I'm pretty sure, and then you obviously would have to have an absurd game to catch Luke Kuechly. But, I mean, you're starting to see people really take notice of you. How awkward is that? Like when you have like a Ronnie Lott mentioning you, or like Hardy Nickerson who congratulated you. Just how kind of out there is it that these people you probably grew up watching are talking to you?
Yeah, I mean, Ronnie Lott's a little older than my day, but
he's still a legend.
Those guys are.
I may have watched
legends,
him growing up.
Those guys are legends. I mean, Ronnie's in the Hall of Fame. Hardy, I'm not sure if he is, but he's one of the all-time Cal greats. And he played in the league for a while, and all these guys just showing me a little bit of love is really cool. Just being able to get that from guys who've played the game, have gone through the process and know what they're doing, and obviously had tremendous careers, just something that you can't really, fabricate.
Mm-hmm.
If a recruit would come to you, what's the pitch? They want to talk to Evan Weaver. They see the success he had. What's your recruiting pitch to come to Cal? I mean, is it football, the campus? I mean, you got that view behind us. There's so many things. Where are you taking someone on a recruiting trip? Have you been a part of that process ever? Have you
I'm actually 6 for 6 for hosting.
Put that in the NFL Combine interviews. Too.
There you go. So I'm pretty good at selling things. So,
okay.
I used to sell rocks to my neighbors, and
nice.
when I was about 5 years old.
Yeah.
They still bought them, so that's all that matters. But and just experiencing a place that's really like no other, and you can't really fabricate any of this. You got the views, you got football, you have the daily life, you have the campus, which is just totally wild, and something that you just. It's kind of like a Dr. Seuss book almost. It's just something you can't really imagine, but it's somehow there. So just all the crazy stuff that goes on, it's definitely an experience, and it's definitely been worth it for my 4 years.
What about school? We're wrapping up school. Your
Yeah.
classes you're finishing up. I mean, finals. I mean, you don't have to do that in the NFL. You just gotta worry.
Like this is your last day, right?
Yeah, well,
Sort of?
my
Close to it?
last official class,
Okay.
and then I'll have an exam.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
How liberating is that?
Oh my gosh. it feels pretty good, but the exam's gonna be a little tough, so I'll have to study for that one a little bit. So after that though, that's where we're living life now.
Yeah.
What were you majoring in again?
American studies.
Okay.
Yeah.
I noticed graduating college, like I worked full time and I was taking 16 units, and then when I graduated college, I was like, wait, I have all this time now. What happened?
Yeah.
Like you don't realize like how much time you'll actually have to
Yeah.
focus on your trade. In your
Yeah.
case, hopefully like football.
Yeah,
So I mean that's killer.
Hopefully I'll be able to figure out what to do at that time and figure out how to conduct myself as a pro, which I'm sure I will. But I haven't really thought about the time aspect a little bit and how much
It'll
free
catch
time
you.
I'm gonna get.
Yeah. Have you ever I know that when I was at this stage of life, graduating, almost done, it was probably like the scariest time of most people's lives. Like, oh my God, like what am I going to do with myself, this future, all these prospects? Do you ever think about that and just get a little anxious or excited? How do you feel about it?
I don't really think about it like what am I gonna do with myself. I think of it, okay, now I got to go on to this and I got to do better than what I did here. So I've always been a guy that just wants to prove people wrong, and so hopefully go do that in the next level in the NFL.
Yeah.
How did your family background lead you to where you are? How are you why are you the person you are today, and kind of how you ended up who you are actually?
I think just growing up in a blue collar family, no nonsense. Just you're gonna work every day, and if you want it, you're gonna work for it, and being able to grow up with some great parents and grandparents, and instilling that work ethic in me. I mean, my dad works in a metals machine shop, and so being able to go in there and climb in these big machines and have to clean them, and getting cuts all over the place, but it's just a part of growing up and part of getting your hands dirty and being able to use that somewhere down in my life and down the road, and figured it out a little bit.
Was it just football for you growing up in youth, or I'm sure you played other sports, or was it just football?
It was it was actually, before football, it was soccer and football, and my parents were tired of going from one game on one side of town and then immediately driving over, to the other side of town. And they sat me down, I think in fourth grade. They're like, "Hey, you're gonna choose between one of these sports because this isn't happening anymore."
Yeah.
And so I chose football, and then I played baseball and basketball. I played basketball until 8th grade, and then played baseball in high school. And
Okay.
yeah,
Any thoughts of ever playing? What position you play in baseball?
center field, batted leadoff.
Oh,
Wow.
You righty lefty combination.
Righty. Yeah.
Righty.
Yeah.
All right. I played baseball too, so there's a little bit of interest in that.
Yeah.
What are you most excited for now this coming year? You're getting school's over almost. You got the dream of your life. I mean, this has to be this is it, right?
Yeah.
This is just are you excited? Are you nervous? A little bit of both?
Yeah. I mean, I never really get nervous. I'm
That's
more
good.
excited,
Okay.
and I'm more just waiting to get into a camp and waiting to prove myself all over again. It's basically just like freshman year all over again. Coming into a new team and earning the trust of the coaches and earning the trust of the teammates and showing everybody that you're a hard worker and that you're there to stay.
I think one of our favorite parts about you, especially being in the media, is you've been very outspoken.
Yeah.
Even leading up to games, get out to the games, or after the games, we weren't good enough today, we need to do better. How much of an adjustment is that going to be for you when you come in as the rookie and you just can't say anything?
You got to know your place, and
Yeah.
you got to be able to earn something like that, and I feel like I've been able to do that here, and obviously stuff like that's probably not going to fly, so you're going to have to it's just all about being a pro though, and figuring out how to be a pro, and being able to do that consistently is I think I'll be fine with it.
How much have you enjoyed that role here, though?
No, I've loved it, and I think some of the guys on the team were probably okay, come on now, so, at some points, but no, I mean the dudes are all really supportive, and they kind of like it too. It kind of takes pressure off them to say anything, and and just being able to focus more on winning games instead of everybody having to talk to the media, I think is perfect.
Yeah, when the timing is right, it goes very well.
Yeah.
And if you can wear it as the leader, it does take a lot of pressure off your teammates. So I appreciate that you recognize that, because I've always respected that. Like covering athletes, like a Draymond Green would do that a lot.
Yeah.
You know, like there's a lot of people. I remember Warriors lost a big game. This is a while back. Baron Davis was on the team, and he was kind of like sulking in the corner. All the media was waiting, and Steven Jackson just kind of walked out into the middle of the locker room and was like, let's go. And just took everybody on, and it, like, I could see it like lift everybody else. It was kind of funny because they're like, okay, now we don't have to answer these tough questions.
Exactly.
Let's get to the shower.
That's why we're here. We're getting tough questions.
There you go.
You got a great social media handle, Weavin it. I mean, where do you come up with that? And that's another part of this whole thing. And especially when you know, in our position, jobs, you can lose them like that. How careful are you in social media? There's a balance of being fun and being yourself, but also everything's gonna, and as we know at the next level, everything's so scrutinized. And now this is another aspect that maybe players like Ronnie Lott or those guys didn't have to deal with. How do you kind of handle social media?
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of I kind of have it ran with me and my dad, and we just kind of you know, just because everything nowadays is monitored.
Crazy, right?
Everything, you know. I mean, you slip up one time, it's, you know, when you delete it, it's not deleted. You know, I figured that out, but not in a bad way. Not that.
Just noticing other people.
You know, noticing all these things, especially these things that'll like post up, come up like on draft day or something. Or,
like old messages and stuff.
From like, which I think is kind of ridiculous, to be honest, for some of these guys, because it's like, you know, when you're 10, 11, 12 years old, you know, you're not really thinking about it.
We barely had cell phones at 10, 11, 12.
Well, like Facebook.
No, I know,
Facebook,
you
know,
my
my
age. We had pagers when I was in high school. That was crazy. We didn't even have phones.
Walked uphill both ways and 6 feet of snow too, right? Yeah.
We totally did.
Yeah. It was a lot like that, yes. Two pay phones. We had to walk up both ways to get to the pay phones.
The sneaky thing was you could call collect, and if you just said your name and they didn't answer, I like knew my mom was coming to get me. Save her some money there.
This is probably a foreign language to you, which I love. Because we're usually the young guys too.
Yeah, it's pound sign, not a hashtag.
Yeah, there you go.
Exactly. That's a good way to put it. Do you have a favorite? You get to explore the Bay Area. Is there a favorite spot either that you like to eat, or like Case was talking about the spot where you can kind of look out? I mean, we see some.
Go here. Fish Ranch Road up behind there.
Yeah, but like, are there some secret Bay Area spots that you want to take in before you kind of are off to your next your NFL home?
You know, I think on a nice day, being able to go up that road up the side of the Strawberry Canyon, and then you can see literally the whole bay, you know, all the way down to San Jose and all the way, you know, across the bridge and all that. So that's pretty cool. And then walking down by the marina, the Berkeley Marina, is also a really cool spot. And then you know, walking around campus, you know, there's never not going to be entertainment on campus. So
did you is there a favorite game that you have?
Favorite game?
Yeah.
Like
here at Cal. I saw a wall.
Cal.
There's memorable games, and there's a spot missing. They're going to put yours up there from the big game. I don't know if you even had a chance to really look at this. If you've had a chance.
No,
to
I haven't.
But there's a list. There's right there, and I know your game's going to go up there. But is that your favorite game? Your favorite moment as a Cal Golden Bear? Or is there a different one?
You know, I'd have to say Washington my junior year, just because you know, growing up a Husky fan, I wanted to beat them. So and being able to do that in the fashion that we did, it's just a pretty nice little capper there.
Yeah, all your family and high school friends probably were mad at you, but it's totally worth it.
What is the toughest road environment in the Pac-12?
Yeah,
toughest road environment. I mean, I don't really see any of them as tough because you're on defense, so I mean it's practically quiet.
Oh, yeah, that's actually a really good point.
Yeah,
but
or maybe most
I'd have
fun.
to say like the coolest like road environment. I mean, obviously Cal's the best, but road environments probably Autzen, Oregon's pretty sweet, and then Husky Stadium's pretty cool too. And then and there's one other one. Utah was pretty sweet this year. Yeah, because they're rocking in those packets, so it's pretty awesome.
How do you look at this Pac-12 championship game? I mean, Utah, Oregon, you faced them both.
Yeah.
We actually have that game on our air coming up Friday. So, I mean, having faced both teams, who do you think comes out on top there?
Man, you know, I really don't know who's going to come out on top, but I know Justin Herbert's a great quarterback. Tyler Huntley's a great quarterback, and they got some really defensive studs on both sides. And you know, Zach Moss is a really talented running back. And so it'll be a really tough fight, I think, and it'll be super interesting to see what happens on Friday.
I have to ask you this. Pac-12 after dark, yes or no?
See, Pac-12 after dark, there's always going to be something interesting that happens, but only about 5 people in the country see it. So
The 3 of them are in our sports department.
Yeah, most of them are in our office, like wishing we could go home.
And I mean, I think the national media needs to give us a few more early games, not just for us, but for the fans too.
Mm-hmm. Did you hear the story? I read it the other day where Christian McCaffrey said that people had told him, like Heisman voters said they hadn't even watched him play, and that year Stanford had played, I think it was like 7 night games. Yeah. So I mean, like are you noticing it in your text messages on your phone? Like less people are reaching out after your game going like, hey, that was cool.
Well, I mean, I try to keep it that the only people who have my number are people who I want to have my number. It's mainly just the usual people, the high school coach, my parents, my grandparents, sister, that type of deal. So it's not really anybody who I wouldn't want reaching out to me, which is nice.
Yeah.
Did you kind of have to grow into a role of being able to do interviews like this? I mean, you're very comfortable, and you, like Casey said, you kind of take the heat both ways. You're a leader. Yeah. Where does that come from, and where does the comfortability of being able to do stuff like this?
I mean, I've never really had a problem with talking to people, so as you can imagine.
You're selling rocks at 5. So.
Yeah, so
pretty good.
Yeah, probably sell a few other things too, maybe some pencils, who knows.
Yeah,
but,
I'm buying.
There you go. No, I mean, it started in high school, I think, was when I really started doing some interviews, for TV, and I just kind of realized, we're all people. You guys have a job. I have a job to do, and why not just cooperate and figure it out, And instead all these people, either blow up on the media or like don't really sit there and don't say anything. So, I mean, I think it's just being able to have like a conversation, even if you're in a group, being able to have like a one-on-one conversation with that person is just kind of, put some personal aspect into it.
And I asked you this off camera, but I'll ask you now. If you weren't a football player, you'd be doing what?
Now that I thought about it,
gave you some time.
Yeah. Still don't really know,
okay.
but I'd probably be working back in Spokane, working in steel fabrication.
There's no interest in like coaching or like doing what we do, and you'd be a great analyst. We wanted to have you on, but the scheduling didn't work out. But you definitely know the game, and you know it from all angles, from playing and watching film and that stuff. That doesn't interest you at all, or coaching?
It definitely interests me, but it's something that it's like people just get roundhoused on TV for sometimes. Like Paul Feinbaum, I think, was the newest one to get blown up by the West Coast media, so that was really fun this morning. And
I saw that
comments he said. Yeah. But doing either something like this or I kind of want to start a podcast.
That's what we're doing right now.
This is good. You got a good first.
We'll show you all the equipment when you're done.
Yeah. Hey, there you go. Not an NCAA violation.
What would your podcast be about? Weaving it, I would imagine, the name.
I mean, just
you got some thoughts.
Anything, stupid things, arguments, just anything anybody wants to talk about. You invite somebody interesting, and you see where it goes from there. You don't really have anything planned.
I mean, if you were to be the host, what would you be asking us?
I wouldn't be asking you anything. We'd just be having a chat.
Just like what we're doing, right? I mean, you're a pro.
I saw an article where Justin Wilcox had referred to you as, I believe it was like an old WWE style villain. What is that about? Because I thought that was like the greatest quote ever.
I think that was from last year.
I think it was The Athletic, to give them proper due.
Yeah. I think it's just I don't really care what people say about me, and I kind of show that, and so I'm kind of the villain in that way, but and then I also like to hit people as hard as possible, take as many people with me when I run out of the game. So,
did you ever watch WWE?
Oh, he's a big WWE.
I'm a big WWE fan, so I'm weird like that.
I tried to when I was younger. Mm-hmm. I couldn't really get into it. I was a big monster truck guy though.
Yes,
I would go to like the monster truck rallies in the Spokane Arena and stuff, and I'd get super pumped for that. All the flames and flips and, smashing buses and all this stuff was pretty sweet. So
I always like to ask anybody, what's something we don't know about you?
Man, something you don't know about me? I'm a jet ski owner and an avid golfer.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so avid golfer, are you a good golfer or you're just avid about it?
I love it.
Uh-huh.
Not very good at it. Yes. But I have fun playing it. So
where's the best course you ever played?
Best course I ever played? Oh, man.
And or if you could play one, your dream course.
Oh, I mean the Masters, obviously.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah, Augusta.
Augusta.
Yeah.
I'd have Pebble pretty high on my list.
Pebble's pretty high, but it's like just the exclusivity of Augusta
That's
is
fair,
just
yeah.
like I mean Pebble you can go pay $500 and play around. So there's actually a few guys on our team that have done that.
Okay.
But I'm not quite to that deal yet. So
You will be when you make the NFL.
hopefully.
Yeah, pretty much. The door's open a little bit when you're in the NFL. Yeah. All right. Well, we could bring it home now. We lost our light anyways.
All right. Well, thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining us,
thanks for
man.
coming
Go
on.
Bears.
Best of luck.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good to see
Bowl
you.
game, Senior Bowl.
Yeah.
We'll be
Didn't get
watching you.
tackled by
Awesome.
you, and I don't want to get hit as hard as your friend did. So
Well,
just kind of keep it
yeah,
like
no,
this.
that was a little weird. So let's not.
Only in Berkeley, right?
Yeah.
All right, so obviously Evan Weaver can handle us. He'll probably handle the interviews of the Combine very well. I really want to see, though, what he does when he gets a chance to get on the field in front of all those guys. Because, yes, he leads the nation in tackling, but is everybody really watching all these Cal games? As we touched on Pac-12 After Dark. So I think that he's going to surprise some people. I think he's much faster than people realize. If you're just looking at the stat sheets, you're probably not getting the whole picture, actually watching him. And I think that's going to be fun to see when he gets in front of these NFL people.
Well, as an example of that, Pro Football Focus, which tracks everything in the NFL, I guess now they're doing college players as well, they didn't even have Evan Weaver as the first team linebacker in the Pac-12. In the Pac-12,
This is
he
crazy.
leads the whole country in tackles. So I don't know what metrics they're using. And when I look at him, 6'3", 235, like you sat next to him, he's a big dude, but I don't know that he's like one of those all-bus team guys. And when I say that, coaches say, well, they look great coming off the bus. He looks like a big guy, but unless he's like Fred Warner and runs a 4.5 at the Combine or something like that, does that light up in NFL minds? I think he's going to be a tremendous player. And when you and I were talking previously, it's sort of like the Christian McCaffrey effect, where Heisman voters were telling him after the ceremony, I never saw you play. Like maybe they haven't seen Evan Weaver play, but I think he's going to be very solid to excellent. But it just boggles the mind that people could think, oh, he's just, the Pac-12's kind of soft. So and somebody's got to make all the tackles. It must be Evan Weaver. I can't wait to see him at the next level and hitting everything that moves and demolishing people and just proving that what we watched all these years was not a mirage. It just blows my mind how, and I don't know whether it's a stereotype thing or a league thing or whatever, but the guy's hungry to play. I mean, you could feel that. That's his passion for the sport. He loves it. And there'll be a lot of people, that you see at the Combine writing their notes, and they miss on a lot of guys. Yeah. And I hope there's somebody that recognizes him for what he does and what he brings, and then he goes and shines.
Yeah, and as a ball hawk, as a guy that's a born leader, he has the intellect. He pointed out, like the all-bus team, you could look great, but if you don't know where to be, when to be, how to do it, you might not be great, even if you look like an Adonis. And I think the thing about him is you see him, you don't think speed, but this is a guy that he pointed out, center fielder, batted leadoff. I mean, that's crazy. I would have thought like first baseman hitting fourth,
right.
just looking at him.
DH.
But he joked. He said, I could run a 4.8 sideways. So wait till they see what I can do. And I think it's going to be fun to see what he can do.
Awesome.
All right. Well, please subscribe to the podcast. We are here pretty much every week interviewing a bunch of amazing people. We're going to have a bunch more coming up. We are on Spotify, SoundCloud, iTunes, YouTube if you're watching right now, in crystal clear HD. You can see all of this nonsense every week. And yeah, we'd really appreciate it. Give us 5 stars.
Hey, Best Buy. What's up? Aloha. With authority.